Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and fuzzy studio audience. That's Rusty, the world famous meatball dog. He and I are having to put up with more crap again. More breakdown crap. It's just, we're tired of it, right, Rusty? Yeah, we're tired of it. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Or maybe we should call it the Breakdown channel. It just never ends. It keeps happening. And, of course, it's still freaking cold. I'm here in Olathe, Kansas. Minus 10 feels like minus 23. So what's going on? Let's look. Can't catch a break. It never seems to end. At the Aldi here in Olathe, Kansas, right as I'm waiting in line to get in to deliver, my voltage drops. I got low voltage warning lights, which means either my alternator just took a crap or my batteries, because of the cold weather, can't hold the charge. Made it into the door, turned my APU on, and my interior lights came back on, which means, because of course the APU has an alternator and charges the batteries. That's the whole idea when you have the truck parked at night while you run the APU. Keep your batteries charged, and it circulates the coolant so your engine will start in the morning. So that told me that, yeah, my alternator took a crap on me. So I got done getting unloaded, pulled out of the door, and now I'm waiting to pay. Last time I was waiting to pay, that took another 2.5 hours. Hopefully it won't take as long tonight. I actually got into the door by my appointment time, and they got me unloaded fairly quickly. There weren't near as many trucks here this time. So now I've had to call around, try to find one of these alternators. They have it in Indianapolis for only $213, but that's way far away. The TA in Oak Grove, which hopefully I can limp it over to, has one, but they want $337 for it. I feel like I should be doing a Ghost of Christmas Past or something. Oh, anyway, put that over there for some better light. My little 12-volt flashlight. Love this thing, rechargeable. Well, you know, they say when it rains, it pours, and it's been pouring on me for well over a week, and I'm sick of it. And of course, yeah, changing out in alternators is a fairly easy thing to do on one of these big trucks, especially mine. You have really easy access to where it is. You know, you just stand on the floor and change it out. 4 bolts. You know, but of course I needed them to do it because it was so cold. I didn't have the exact right tools for it. You know, and of course, unfortunately, had to pay TA. Well, it was the Petro, Oak Grove is where I was, more for the part. But you know, had I gone to a Freightliner, I would have paid less for the part, but more to have it installed. That's what I've always found between the two. Is the labor and stuff's cheaper at a TA Petro, but the parts are cheaper at the Freightliner. Problem was, when your alternator goes out, you know, you're running the risk of not being able to start your engine again. Thank God I got the APU on this truck, so I limped it through all the rush hour traffic through Kansas City, all the way over to the Petro, or the TA first, actually, there in Oak Grove. Tons of accidents this morning. It was crazy. People were just sliding all over the place. Place into each other. I must have counted, I don't know, 10, 15, just between Olathe, Kansas and Oak Grove, Missouri. About a 50-mile trek. But, you know, ridiculous. I make it all the way over to the TA. I had called ahead. I knew they had the alternator. I go to check in, and they're like, yeah, we don't have power. I'm like, really? Yeah, it's a rolling blackout because something about how the nearby power plant's having trouble with their turbines. And I don't know, whatever it is. I'm like, just really? So they couldn't check me in. They couldn't do anything. They said, well, it's probably going to be hours. Of course it would be. I had another pickup at 1 o'clock. I said, well, let me run across the highway to the Petro, see if they're in a better situation. No, they're not. They also had no power and put me in line. At least I was able to get in line because, you know, with the cold temperatures and the nasty weather and stuff, you know, lots of trucks are breaking down. So that was 9 o'clock this morning. I got in line for that and then just parked the truck and turned the APU on again so I could charge the batteries back up, so I could make my trek over to pick up my load at 1 p.m. because I knew they probably wouldn't get me in before that. My whole plan originally was to try to get sleep somewhere in there between delivering at Aldi and then going to pick up my next load, because I new it delivers Thursday morning in Monroe Township, New Jersey. And, it's 1,200 miles from where I picked up. So I needed to run at least 500 miles or more today. And so here I am in Knightstown, Indiana at this little Love's early Wednesday morning. And once they got me into the shop, like I say, it's a real quick repair. If the weather had been good, I would have attempted it on my own. 4 bolts, all it takes to replace that thing. Just the hardest part is then getting the belt back over the pulley, really. But they have the right kind of tool to do that with. I don't have that. But, with as cold as it was and everything, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to let them do that. And I also did remember I got my radiator replaced last week, and I was saying, you always got to keep topping it off for the first few days because it settles. And the other thing you got to do is look for extra little leaks, because when they have to reattach all these little hoses and everything, there's going to be bound to at least be one hose clamp somewhere that's not tight enough and is leaking. And sure enough, that happened when I was trying to leave Aldi this morning. I turned the engine back on and low coolant level. Luckily, I had a gallon with me, put it in, and then I got a new hose clamp there at the Petro, and we were able to put that on and tighten it down. And I bought another extra gallon. I had to put in, coolant to get it back up again, and I have another extra gallon with me. And speaking of extras and making sure I have stuff with me, remember I bought those 2 fuel filters the other day when I fueled up in Forrestal, Missouri at that TA tonight, or last night at this point. I went ahead and changed that out. And I did get a few horrified remarks from a few people saying, you're pouring that, water fuel back in there, and that you shouldn't do that because it's full of water. Yes, you shouldn't do that in an ideal situation where I drained it into the jug and I poured it back in. You shouldn't really do that if you have access to fresh fuel. When I changed that day, I did not. Okay, so that's not the most ideal situation. This is, again, why I bought an extra. I bought 2 so I could swap it out again later. And so when I changed it out last night, I did it on the fuel island there at the Forrestal TA. Then I grabbed another jug because I fueled, and I put fresh fuel into a jug so I could put fresh fuel in for the filter, which is the way you should do it. And it's just sometimes if you're on the side of the road or whatever, like I did it before, you got to use what you got, But yeah, the fresh fuel is much better for it. So that's what I did, and that worked out better. And the truck started running a lot better after that again, too. So, yeah, I saw your comments, people, and yes, yeah, you really shouldn't do that if you don't have to. But the reason I showed it that way is if you're doing it solo on the side of the road at a rest area, back of a truck stop or whatever, that may be your only option, and that was my only option at that time. Now on to something fun. Blah! About a week and a half ago, I've been toying around with the idea of doing some merch, some Clutch Trucker or Rusty the Meatball Dog merch, because I figured that'd be fun. Found this website, it's like something shirt, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, and you can do face masks, you can do customized face masks. So I did one with Rusty, a picture of Rusty on it, and it says Rusty the Meatball Dog. And they came in, of course, after I had gone through the house, unfortunately, but my wife took a picture of one. I'll show you what it looks like. And now my wife's sporting the Rusty the Meatball Dog face mask. I only ordered about 20 of them. This was kind of like my experiment, my test to see how these would look. And now if I can figure out how to take orders through PayPal or something, I may offer them for sale here on the Clutch Trucker channel, because I think that would be kind of cool. So, as I know everybody loves Rusty, everybody's all, when it was so cold, they're like, well, make sure Rusty stays warm. Forget about me. No, we want to make sure the dog's warm. No, they were kind about me too, but everyone loves Rusty, so if I can find a way to do it, I'll offer these for sale. The Rusty the Meatball Dog face mask. Why not? I figured that sure is something for our times right now, right? And we're going to try to do other merch in the future, especially featuring Rusty, because everybody loves Rusty. Yep, so here it is, early Wednesday morning. We're parked here at the Loves in Knightstown, Indiana. I'll show you some video of Rusty bounding around out there in the snow. Yeah, he got his business done quick. He didn't want to stay out there long. It's not as cold as everywhere else we've been recently, but it's 0 and feels like 0. And his little pawpaws, they chill up pretty quick. All right, here it is, 4:09 a.m. Eastern Time. We're in Knightstown, Indiana. See, Rusty's already doing the "my paws are cold" thing, because it's about 0 degrees. Says feels like 0, not near as cold as it has been, but I think he's going to be done here pretty quick. You about ready to go back to the truck? You all done? Holding the paws up tells me, yep, he's done. All right, let's go. So anyway, I'm going to take our break here. I hardly got any sleep since I left the house on Monday. So I'm going to take probably a little extra long break here. We deliver Thursday morning in Monroe Township, New Jersey at the Costco. Hopefully that'll go pretty well. And then we'll see what happens after that, right, Rusty? Yeah. There you go. Hey, as always, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment if you would like to. Only if you'd like to. You don't have to. Of course, ring the bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out or if we go live again or something like that. There's Clutch Trucker at Instagram, Clutch Trucker at Twitter, where I put little quick stuff on there. Sometimes some stuff that's going to be in these videos, sometimes just a completely separate thing, all right? And Patreon and Coffee, the links are down in the description. As always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Happy birthday! Ho-ho! Yeah, you should see the toast. I couldn't even get it through the door. Say hi. There's Rusty. Oh, yes.